The Valens Aqueduct is a Roman aqueduct which was the major water-providing system of the Eastern Roman capital of Constantinople, completed by Roman Emperor Valens in the late 4th century AD. It was maintained and used by the Byzantines and later the Ottomans, and remains one of the most important landmarks of the city. Location: the aqueduct stands in Istanbul, in the quarter of Fatih, and spans the valley between the hills occupied today by the Istanbul University and the Fatih Mosque. The surviving section is 921 meters long, about 50 meters less than the original length. The Ataturk Bulvari Boulevard passes under its arches. History: Roman period. The construction of a water supply system for the city had begun already under the Roman Emperor Hadrian. Under Constantine I, when the city was rebuilt and increased in size, the system needed to be greatly expanded to meet the needs of the rapidly growing population. The Valens Aqueduct, which originally got its water from the slopes of the hills between Kajathane and the Sea of Marmara, was merely one of the terminal points of this new wide system of aqueducts and canals, which eventually reached over 250 kilometers in total length, the longest such system of antiquity, that stretched throughout the hill country of Thrace and provided the capital with water. Once in the city, the water was stored in 3 open reservoirs and over 100 underground cisterns, such as the Basilica cistern, with a total capacity of over 1 million cubic meters. The exact date that construction on the aqueduct began is uncertain, but it was completed in the year 368 during the reign of Roman Emperor Valens, whose name it bears. It lay along the valley between the 3rd and 4th hills of Constantinople, occupied respectively at that time by the Capitolium and the Church of the Holy Apostles. According to tradition, the aqueduct was built using the stones of the walls of Chalcedon, pulled down as punishment in 366 after the revolt of Procopius. The structure was inaugurated in the year 373 by the urban prefect Clearchus, who commissioned a nymphaeum in the Forum of Theodosius, that was supplied with water from the aqueduct. After a severe drought in 382, Theodosius I built a new line, which took water from the northeastern region known today as the Belgrade Forest. East Roman period. Other works were executed under Theodosius II, who decided to distribute the water of the aqueduct exclusively to the nymphaeum, the baths of Xerxes and the Great Palace of Constantinople. 1001 columns, cistern, and was repaired in 576 by Justin II, who built his separate pipe. The aqueduct was cut by the Avars during the siege of 626. And the water supply was re-established only after the Great Drought of 758 by Emperor Constantine V. The emperor had the whole water supply system repaired by a certain Patricios, who used a large labor force coming from the whole of Greece and Anatolia. Other maintenance works were accomplished under Emperors Basil II and Romanos III Argyris. The last Byzantine emperor who took care of the aqueduct was Andronikos I Komnenos. Neither during the Latin Empire nor during the Paleologan period were any repair works executed, but by that time the population of the city had shrunk to about 50,000 inhabitants, so that the water supply was no longer a very important issue. Nevertheless, according to Ruy González de Clavijo, a Castilian diplomat who traveled to Constantinople en route to an embassy to Timur in 1403, the aqueduct was still functioning. Ottoman period. After the fall of Constantinople, Sultan Mehmet II repaired the whole water supply, which was then used to bring water to the imperial palaces of Eski Sarai and Topkapi Sarai, and connected it with a new line coming from the northeast. The great earthquake of 1509 destroyed the arches near the Mosque of Seyzade, which was erected some time later. This gave rise to the popular legend that they were cut, in order to allow a better view from the nearby mosque. The repairs to the water-supplying net continued under Bayezid II, who added a new line. Around the middle of the 16th century, Suleiman I rebuilt arches 47 up to 51 near the Seyzade Mosque, and commissioned the imperial architect Mimar Sinar to add 2 more lines coming from the forest of Belgrade. The increased flow allowed the distribution of water to the Kyoto-Czezmi quarter, situated along the aqueduct on the Golden Horn side, and so called after the many fountains built there under Suleiman. Under Sultan Mustafa II, 5 arches were restored, respecting the ancient form. An inscription in situ, dated 1696-97, commemorates the event. His successor Ahmed III repaired again the distribution net. In 1912, a 50-meter-long part of the aqueduct near the Fatih Mosque was pulled down. In the same period, a new modern taxim at the east end was erected. Description: the aqueduct of Valens had a length of 971 meters and a maximum height of California, 29 meters with a constant slope of 1 to 1,000. Arches 1 to 40 and 46 to 51 belong to the time of Valens, arches 41 to 45 to Mustafa II, and those between 52 and 56 to Suleiman I. Arches 18 to 73 have a double order, the others a single order. The masonry is not regular, and uses a combination of ashlar blocks and bricks. The first row of arches is built with well-squared stone blocks. The upper row is built with 4 to 7 courses of stones alternated with a bed of smaller material clamped with iron cramps. The width of the aqueduct varies from 7.75 meters to 8.24 meters. The pillars are 3.70 meters thick, and the arches of the lower order are 4 meters wide. As a result of geophysical surveys performed in 2009, it is now known that pillars' foundations are approximately 5.46.0 meters below present-day surface. The water comes from 2 lines from the northeast and 1 coming from the northwest, which join together outside the walls, near the Adrianople Gate. Near the east end of the aqueduct there is a distribution plant, and another lies near Hagia Sophia. The water feeds the zone of the Imperial Palace. The daily discharge in the 1950s amounted to 6,120 cubic meters. During Byzantine times, 2 roads important for the topography of medieval Constantinople crossed under the eastern section of the aqueduct.